Mr. Tavrovsky, you wrote a new book about China. It is called China in the New Era. What is this book all about?
Actually, this book is about China's new era. It's about the Cold War, which is a reaction of the West to the Chinese miracle. It is also a book on the Cold War against Russia and about those two Cold Wars. Actually, a new world Cold War, which America is waging on the two fronts. And the general idea is that Beijing and Moscow shouldn't allow Washington to separate us. We should stay together, and this is the only opportunity for us to survive and maybe to win in this Cold War, and also not give America a chance to start hot war. This is the idea of the book, but of course it will be it will contain much more information, much more new ideas.
There are many rhetorics, campaigns, war of words against China these days, initiated and launched by some Western politicians. For example, they're trying to de-link and decouple the CPC and the Chinese society. They're trying to vilify the CPC by mostly focusing on its challenges in the past and in the present. How do you look at this campaign? I mean, will those rhetorics and campaigns against China and the CPC only intensify and worsen going forward?
I think that the driving force behind China's success or Chinese miracle is socialism with Chinese characteristics. This concept was the biggest theoretic invention of the Chinese Communist Party. The party has invented it and was making practical trials of this concept for a couple of decades. And then in 2012, the party offered the Chinese nation the improved model of this concept, called socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era. It is clear for me, and it is clear for all experts, that this model suits China best. Actually, it is the only explanation of People's Republic dynamism in the past few decades and sustainability under harsh conditions of the COVID pandemic and America-initiated Cold War. And I think Xi Jinping was absolutely correct saying on July 1st, during those festivities of the CPC's 100th anniversary, that socialism with Chinese characteristics is a new model for human advancement. So this model looks like a mortal threat to the West. At the same time, it is very attractive to other nations. I believe that it should be thoroughly studied and learned in other countries, all over the world. Especially young people should learn it, because socialist ideas are coming back, are becoming very popular in every country, including Russia.
Many in the West argues that it is a failed experiment. You know, they're focusing on its frustrations and failures of the past. We think about what happened in Russia. How do you look at those arguments?
Well, I think socialism has many models, like capitalism. So Soviet model of socialism was obviously inefficient, and Soviet Union failed, while China tried a Soviet model, and it wasn't very successful at it. And then we had this socialism with Chinese characteristics. Yes, we had reforms and opening up first, Then it developed into socialism with Chinese characteristics. And then Xi Jinping offered his China Dream as an improved model of this socialism. So socialism, it is actually counterattacking a liberal model, and that's why the West is so much afraid of China. It is afraid of this model of socialism. That is my opinion.
You just said that socialism with Chinese characteristics, or the Chinese version, adapted version of socialism, should be learned and studied by the young people from around the world, especially in the developing world. Why is that?
I think the Chinese model is not unique. I think the Chinese model cannot be copied with 3D technology or any other way. Actually, taking into account the national conditions and characteristics is the heart of Chinese model. That's why it's called socialism with Chinese characteristics. Every nation can use socialism and understand its own specifics, its own traditions. And we in Russia are now discussing, we have started discussions of using this socialist model once again. And I think that both socialism with Chinese characteristics and Chinese initiative of building a community of shared future for mankind will be very useful for the coming world order, which will replace Western model of globalism pretty soon.